Welcome to the Postsecondary Readiness Indicator Training. My name is Kristen Roseberry. I'm a program consultant in the Office of Assessment and Accountability. The accountability system performance for each district, school, and student demographic group, determined by the state indicators, will be based on a combination of annual performance called status and the difference between prior year and current year called change. For each state indicator, there will be five status levels ranging from very high to very low, and five change levels ranging from increase significantly to decline significantly. Post secondary readiness is one of six indicators in the overall accountability system. The Office of Assessment and Accountability developed this glossary of terms to assist educators when referencing and discussing the accountability system. In this training, we will review all parts of the post-secondary readiness state indicator. Post-secondary readiness is the attainment of the necessary knowledge, skills, and dispositions for a student to successfully transition to the next level of his or her educational career. In order to demonstrate post-secondary readiness, high school students must earn a regular or alternative high school diploma or be classified as a grade 12 non-graduate and meet one type of readiness, academic or career. This includes all students with a G code and Infinite Campus. Grade 12 non-graduates are included in the post-secondary readiness and are accountable based on the 100-day rule. First, let's review the overall post-secondary readiness. The Kentucky Department of Education will report measures from KRS 158.6455 that are available, such as meeting a college readiness benchmark score on a college admissions examination or college placement examination, earning a C or higher in 3 hours of KDE approved dual credit, meeting approved benchmarks on an AP, IB, or CAI examination, earning an approved industry certification, scoring at or above the benchmark on the CTE end of program assessment for articulated credit, or completing a KDE or cabinet approved apprenticeship program. The post secondary readiness indicator is calculated based on the students who graduate, and non graduates are calculated by adding the number of high school graduates plus grade 12 non graduates who have met measures of post secondary readiness divided by the total number of graduates plus grade 12 non graduates. Early graduate students are included in this indicator the year they receive a G code. The status score represents the current year outcome for a given indicator. It is calculated according to the metric described in the table displayed. There are five status levels ranging from very low to very high for the current year. Color ratings will include five performance levels from highest to lowest. Performance of schools will be reported by levels, elementary, middle, and high, as applicable. Color ratings for each indicator will be used to communicate performance of schools, with red being the lowest and blue being the highest. The table displays the status cut scores for high school indicators. Change scores are a simple subtraction of prior year status scores from current year status scores. They are calculated the same way for every indicator. Current year status score minus prior year status score equals change score. Prior year scores are used to calculate change scores. They are not used to influence indicator performance ratings. There are five change levels ranging from decline significantly to increase significantly. Your change score will give you a change level. Indicator scores are a simple combination of status scores and change scores. They are calculated the same way for every indicator. Current year status score plus change score equals indicator score. Indicator scores are used to calculate overall scores. They do not influence indicator performance ratings. You saw in the cut score tables how your score will determine your status and change levels. On the left side of the table is the status in the current year with levels of very low to very high. Across the top of the table is change with levels of decline significantly to increase significantly. Your indicator performance rating will be where the status and change intersect on the table. An overall accountability score is generated by multiplying the indicator scores by their percentage of weight. The post-secondary readiness indicator is weighted at 20% of the overall score for high schools. For the high school overall score calculation, we will add all 6 indicator scores together to find the overall score. The overall performance rating combines performance on the state indicators for elementary, middle, and high schools. These ratings will be communicated using a color rating system where the blue represents the highest rating and red represents the lowest rating. The 5 performance levels from highest to lowest are blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Indicator performance ratings are also reported as colors, the result of a unique combination of status level and change level, not based on cut scores. This table displays the overall performance rating cut scores. Now let's take a look at academic readiness. KRS 158.6455 requires that post-secondary readiness for each high school student be measured by one benchmark. Therefore, a student meeting or exceeding a college readiness benchmark score on the college admissions exam or a college placement exam approved by the Council on Post-Secondary Education and for the subjects of English, reading, or math would have met the indicator. The Kentucky College Readiness Indicators and Benchmarks have been set by the Council for Post-Secondary Education. The Office of Assessment and Accountability will accept scores from college readiness exams approved by the Council on Post-Secondary Education for the Post-Secondary Readiness Indicator. As a reminder, OAA only receives scores from the Coyote and the State Administration of the College Admissions Exam. For all other exams, the school will need to ensure that OAA receives the scores. These scores can be submitted through SDRR during data review. Another way for a student to meet academic readiness is by achieving 3 hours of dual credit or post secondary articulated credit by completing a course approved by the Kentucky Board of Education. Achieving a benchmark score on an AP, IB, CAI, or other nationally recognized exam approved by the Kentucky Board of Education that generally qualifies a student for 3 or more hours of college credit is another path for students to meet this indicator. The Post-Secondary Readiness Overview document can be found on the KDE website. It is a helpful resource that summarizes all the ways to achieve post-secondary readiness. I will now turn the presentation over to my colleague with the Office of Career and Technical Education.
Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to go over some career readiness with you. So there are 5 options for career readiness. One being industry certifications, 2 end of program assessment, or which are EOPs, 3 is a CTE dual credit, 4 is a CTE co-op or internship or a unique approval by the KBE, or there's another one called TRAC, which is Tech Ready Apprentices for Careers in Tech in Kentucky certificate. And I'm going to go through each one of those for you today to give you a little bit more information. So the first one we're going to start off with is the industry certifications. There is a valid list of industry certifications on our KDE Career and Technical Education webpage. And depending on the program area and pathway, a student must pass a single certification or a stack of certifications in order to qualify for the career indicator. The industry certifications also count as 1 point in the accountability model, and high demand certifications count as 1.25 points. So your regular and your high demand certifications are clarified in the certification list, and that's right in this presentation. And I think there's a link right there, and it's published by the KDE and approved by the KWEB. Okay, so next we have the CTE end of program assessments, which are EOPs, and they are based on employer standards. So CTE pathways and are associated with an articulation agreement with a variety of post-secondary institutions. So if a student completes an EOP that has an articulation agreement with the college they are attending after high school, that student will receive credit from that institution, which is pretty awesome. So in order for a student to take an EOP, they must be a concentrator in their career pathway. And here is the CTE dual credit. And for the CTE dual credit, there is a list of approved dual credit course codes to use for students enrolled in a CTE dual credit course, published on the Accountability and Post-Secondary Readiness CTE webpage. It is up to the district to decide which course code best aligns with the post-secondary course. So for CTE dual credit to count towards career readiness, the student must pass a course with a C or higher along with an approved CTE dual credit course code. All right, so for work-based learning, this is a lot of information for work-based learning, good information, but the student must complete a co-op or an internship. There must be a minimum of 300 hours on the job work experience. The student must successfully complete that experience, which means they passed, and it must align with an approved work-based learning course code. So otherwise, if a student has completed that 300 on the job hours with an employer partner and the school or district aided with the student's work experience, the school or district may apply to the KBE to earn accountability for school sanctioned individual work experience that was not associated with the course code. That is, if it wasn't associated with the course code. So all co-ops and internships should adhere to the work-based learning manual and to Kentucky regulation, which is linked in this presentation on the slide and on the Career and Technical Education webpage. All right, so there is a new work-based learning FAQ document, and that's been published to our CTE webpage. So here you will find frequently asked questions along with those answers, and it will also provide links to regulation, the work-based learning manual, and a list of approved work-based learning course codes. And let's see, the last but not least, we have the TRAC apprenticeship. And TRAC stands for Tech Ready Apprentices for Careers in Kentucky. Students may complete a youth apprenticeship or they can complete a pre-apprenticeship. And this program affords CTE students career pathway opportunities that are aligned with registered apprenticeship programs. So further information and guidance is also available in the link on this presentation and the slide and on the CTE webpage for you. And I believe that concludes my presentation on career readiness indicators for post-secondary readiness. And I think that is it, Kristen. So I will hand it back over to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now we will talk about alternate post-secondary readiness. The Transition Attainment Record, or TAR, is required to be administered at grade 11. The TAR assesses items linked to grade level content standards in reading, mathematics, and science. The benchmarks that have been established for each content area are 16 for English, 13 for mathematics, and 16 for science. The TAR is administered in place of the college admissions exam for students in Kentucky's alternate assessment program. Options for career readiness for alternate high school diploma course of study or alternate assessment students include successfully completing one of the following: career work experience completion and meeting benchmark on the employability skills attainment record, or 300 or more hours of a Kentucky Board of Education approved cooperative education or internship associated with the course code, or a KBE approved application for work experiences. You will find several helpful resources linked on this slide. The CWEC courses are available on Infinite Campus to track co-op and internship hours associated with the course. Schools and districts should identify a staff member to be responsible for reporting student co-op and internship data in the Career Readiness Record tab in Infinite Campus. Instructions on how to enter work-based learning records for students can be found in the Career Readiness Work-Based Learning Data Standard document. The Career Ready database is utilized to enter the CWEC status and ESAR scores to KDE. Please refer to the Kentucky Alternate Assessment Program calendar for important dates regarding CWEC and ESAR. On this slide, you will see the contacts in the Office of Career and Technical Education for questions regarding CWEC, ESAR, and the Career Readiness Record. This concludes our training on the Post-Secondary Readiness Indicator. Additional trainings are available for the remainder of the indicators of Kentucky's accountability system. Please visit each training to learn more about Kentucky's accountability system.